Welcome back, everyone. Phoenix 3 here, and I kind of want to talk about the Roaring Skies reprint. As some of you guys, or maybe all of you may know, Roaring Skies is getting an additional print run, and a lot of people are like losing their mind over this. Everyone is going, "Oh, my Shaymins are going to lose value. I need to unload my Shaymins now. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to try to make as much money as possible off these Shaymins." And it sucks to be those people. Like the general rule of thumb when it comes to trading card games, popular cards are probably going to get a reprint at some point in time. Now, this here is the first time in a long time I've actually ever seen a set reprinted for that sake. And some people don't like it because there are a couple of cards in the set that are actually worth some kind of money, and people want to be able to reserve that value. And there's nothing wrong with that. You invest in these very expensive cars, and you kind of want to hold on to them for the long run, so you have more value for trades if you choose to trade them. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't necessarily mind that Roaring Skies is getting an additional print run. Now, some people might say, well, you don't have these super expensive cars that everyone else has, and that's incorrect. I do. I have four full art Shaymins in my binders right now that I have been trying to unload. And this here is simply because I don't use Shaymin EX. So they just kind of sit there, and if somebody wants to trade for them, I'll trade for them. But I don't mind if the card loses value or not. It's because this isn't the reason that I play the Pokemon card game is to make money. I play it to have fun, and having cards that are a huge value are a plus because it makes getting certain trades a lot easier. Now, the thing that other people kind of need to realize is that they might not be reprinting this set in good faith. And what do I mean by that? I mean that they might not be reprinting this set so people can have an easier chance at getting Shaymin EX. A lot of people are worried about right now because of the price of their card, and I have to tell them that we don't know anything about this new Roaring Skies. That's what I'm calling it. Now it's going to be the same Roaring Skies that you learn to love or hate, but the cards they're not going to get an additional copyright year. They're not going to get a new set number. It's the Roaring Skies is being reprinted again, and you'll have the opportunity to buy it for another 2 months or so whenever they stop printing them again. And people really don't understand how a print run really works. Like they have certain terms called short print. And when a card is short print, that means there isn't that much of it that has been printed. This is usually common with uncommon cards. Like you'll hear somebody say, oh, well, so and so is a short print uncommon. That means it's not printed as much as every other uncommon is. And the thing that I fear is that since they know people want Shaymin EX, they might short print it. And if that does happen, the price of Shaymin EX isn't going to change at all. I personally believe the price of Shaymin isn't going to change at all. Like it might drop a few bucks, but when Roaring Skies actually hit shelves again, it's going to sell out everywhere. Online stores aren't going to have it, and the ones who do have it are going to charge, scalpers fees for the packs, and you might have to end up spending $6 a pack again, and you might buy the packs and find out that there are no Shaymins in it. And I'm not saying that they are going to completely remove Shaymin from the print run. They're not going to do that, let's be real. But they can change how often the card is printed. Maybe they don't want that many more Shaymins in circulation, but there are still Roaring Skies packs in circulation, and a lot of them haven't been opened yet, and a lot of them do contain Shaymin EXs. So, the thing that I wanted to say was, everybody just relax. Your Shaymins are still going to be worth something. They might not be the $80 that they're at now, or whatever it was. I haven't checked prices recently, but I'm saying $80 for the full art. They might not drop that low. Look at this full art Skyla, for example. The Skyla that was printed in Boundaries Cross, That one is still $20. If you look at the Skyla that was in Breakthrough, that one's $8.50. So considering that the full art has been reprinted again with completely different art, the price on the original full art Skyla didn't change. Even the League promo version of Skyla is like $21. So if that's a sign for anything, then your Shaymins are still going to hold their value. Don't be scared and unload them now because you fear something may happen. Just wait and see what happens. Another card that's a good example is Darkrai EX from Dark Explorers. That card is like $50 from what I was told, and it's been reprinted twice, and it didn't affect its price at all. If you look at some other things that people said, they say, well, the full art Darkrai hasn't been reprinted, just a regular EX. It's like, well, yeah, sure. But Skyla has seen how many reprints now? Like 5 or 6. And the original price of the full art hasn't changed. It's like, yeah, they will reprint Shaymin, and it'll be more of them, but it's still the exact same Shaymin that's going to have the exact same rarity to get out. And this is assuming that they didn't reduce the actual print run for Shaymin. So there might be one Shaymin in every 6 boxes versus every 2. You never know. Nobody knows about any of this right now. And a lot of people are saying that this ruins the credibility with Pokemon because they can come out and say a set is no longer being printed and then go back a couple months later and reprint it. So what? This is just what happens in the trading card game. They reprint EXs all the time in tins and boxes to try to keep the price low on the demand for these cards. Now, the only thing that I can't understand is why didn't they just put the Shaymin EX in a 10 or something? And the reason I didn't entertain that idea too much was because they did the same thing with Mewtwo EX when Mewtwo was like $70 for like the normal. And they reprinted Mewtwo EX and put it in the 10. Then people just bought all the 10s. And then the promo Mewtwo went up to like 40. So this here might be them saying, okay, we recognize what happened last time. We're not going to put the Shaymin in a 10 since people do want it for the fear that the price of the promo is actually going to shoot up. And the only reasonable option that they saw was just do a rerun of Roaring Skies and allow people to get Shaymins. Now this year is giving them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't short print it, that the ratios are the exact same as they once were, and they're just doing it this way. So more Shaymin EX is going to be out there, or Rayquaza, or Versus Seekers, to prevent people from just buying up all the stock of the 10s and then selling the Shaymin EX promos for 40-50 bucks, and then the problem goes back to the way it was. Alternatively, what they could have done was made a non-foil version of Shaymin EX, stuck it in a battle box, and then released the battle box with the Shaymin, and it still serves the same purpose. You're still moving product. People get their Shaymins and go from there, but then people just buy up all of those and then sell the Shaymins for 40-50 bucks anyway. So like there really is no alternative here for what the Pokemon Company wanted to do. A lot of people from a collector standpoint or a retail standpoint, because the second market does exist and they like selling these really expensive cards, they don't like it simply because they're not making as much money anymore. And I really don't care if somebody is not making money. That it has no problem. I want more people to play the game, and I want more people to have easy access to the game. And for the Pokemon Company, who would have normally just made a box or a tin, or recently the starter decks or the elite trainer decks, whatever they call them, they can't make those products anymore for such a card because scalpers exist, and they're just going to buy up all the stock and then sell them for outrageous prices. So, in fairness, this here is their most respectable way to try to get more Shaymins in people's hands, assuming they didn't short print it. And that's the one thing that I really want people to understand here is that this here is the only option that they have in order to get these high value cards back into the player's hands. Because any other way wouldn't fix the problem. How many of you were played back in the day when Pokemon Catcher was an actual thing. Pokemon Catcher, the uncommon, went up to like $21. Not even the foil one. The foil was like 30. And the only way to get Pokemon Catcher was in that set. The very next time they reprinted it as a secret rare. You guys remember that one, right? And the secret rare went up to like 80, 90 bucks. And then after that, the very next time they printed it was for player rewards that only like 10 people in the whole world got. So the card just kept getting more and more expensive. Now, they nerfed the card and added a coin flip to it, which severely hindered its playability, which affected its value. And then they started reprinting it in starter decks and every other set imaginable. But you can see how such a thing affects. Shaymin EX is still an EX, and it is not easy pulling an EX. Like seriously, you have to buy boxes if you want to pull an EX. You could try loose packs, but then you have to worry about people weighing the packs, and it just gets messy. If you want to have that chance to pull your Shaymin EX, you have to buy boxes. And if they didn't change the the ratios in which EXs are dropped, then you're still looking at about 4 EXs in a box and 2 full arts. Now, I don't exactly know what the ratios for Roaring Skies are, because this is the ratios for boxes now. You get about 3 to 4 EXs and 2 full arts, and a secret rare in 1 in every 3 boxes if it still exists. But that's kind of what we're looking at now. If you want your Shaymin EXs, you're going to have to buy those boxes. And retailers are not going to sell those boxes cheap. You could usually get a box for $89. Roaring Skies, even with the reprint, might still run you about 110. And that's just looking at it realistically. It's unfortunate that they had to do this in order to try to get some of these cards again for people, because Roaring Skies is probably the most playable set in Standard right now, just in terms of things that you can get for a deck. It's got Mega Turbo, it's got Shaymin, it's got Versus Seeker, it's got Rayquaza, it's got everything in this set. This set here is the backbone of Standard right now. What else is in this set? Trainer's Mail too, I think. There are a lot of playable cards in this set, and rerunning the set means newer players have opportunity to get these cards and get into the game, which is great because I want more people to play. If your whole purpose for playing Pokemon is to make money, then fine, but you have to accept that things like this can happen. And it's not every day that they reprint a set, so maybe they know something that we don't. Who knows? But this is a good thing for the overall health of the game, is to maybe rerun the set. Maybe at some point in time we can get another set to be reran. If you bought the promo boxes, there's still older packs in those, and you could still get playable cards from those. So I mean, that's it. That's kind of all I wanted to say on that. Is I don't necessarily mind that they're doing it, but I can understand where other people are coming from. Everyone plays games for their own reasons, whether it's just to be a player, to collect, to trade, or to sell. And I feel the company should also be able to respect all of those types of players or customers as much as possible when deciding whether or not to release a set. Re-releasing Roaring Skies like this is a bit aggressive, but it is the only way to put Shaymins in people's hands and to prevent said Shaymins from becoming outrageously overpriced. So that's all I want to say on that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to know what your opinions are on this exact topic as well, because everyone feels a little bit differently about it, and they should. But I said my piece on that. I hope you all have a nice day and do look forward to my next video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you know when it pops up, or you can click that bell notification and it'll send you one, assuming I do anything else with this channel. So I hope you all have a good day and hope to see you all in the next one.